Thank you very much, James. And let's go to the PA announcer now for the announcement of both teams.
Best of 3 playoff series between the Sulphur Springs LadyCats and the Little Elm Lady Lobos. We are proud to introduce individual members of each team, starting with the visitors from Sulphur Springs, Texas. They come into tonight's game with a record of 28-4.
Close.
Please welcome number 5, Colbria Harrison. Number 6, Nyla Lindley. Number 9, Jacqueline Semler. Number 10, Carly Adams. Number 12, Maddie Millsap. Number 13, Tessa Hope. And number 16, Abby Baer. And here is the starting lineup for the LadyCats. Leading off, playing center field, number 14, Alyssa Abron. Batting second, playing shortstop, number 7, Kelsey Wallace. Batting third, playing first base, number 22, Brinkley Driver. Batting fourth, playing left field, number 18, Sadie Stroud. Batting fifth, playing right field, number 4, Allie Fight. Batting sixth, playing third base, number 3, Kate Womack. Batting seventh, the second baseman, number 17, Sierra Smith. Batting eighth and catching, number 15, Macy Hollins. Batting ninth, the designated player, number 8, Landry Bell. And the pitcher, number 1, Bailey Haggerty. Head coach for the LadyCats, David Carrillo. Assistant coaches, Bailey Dorner, David Westbury, and Chris Valdovinos. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2018 Sulphur Springs LadyCats varsity softball team. And now we are proud to introduce members of the home team, the Little Elm Lady Lobos. Please welcome number 2, Avery Glover. Number 8, Kendall Gaffney. Number 10, Melissa Ocasio. Number 11, Sarah Overholzer. Number 13, Erin Struxness. Number 15, Nicole Graham. Number 16, Leah Salinas. And now the starting lineup for the Little Elm Lady Lobos. Leading off and playing shortstop, number 5, Izzy Fielder. Batting second and playing second base, number 20, Madison Adams. Batting third and pitching, number 19, Lauren Lucas. Batting cleanup, playing right field, and number 1, Alyssa Adams. Batting fifth, playing first base, number 7, Katie Adams. Batting sixth and playing third base, number 14, Caitlin Crow. Batting seventh, the designated player, number 4, Michaela Roy. Batting eighth and playing left field, number 9, Erin Meyergraf. Batting ninth, playing center field, number 3, Tatum Mowry. And the catcher, number 12, Savannah Stover. Head coach for the Lady Lobos is Jill Miller. Assistant coaches are Mitchell Davis and Kristen Coffey. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2018 Little Elm Lady Lobo varsity soccer team. Softball team.
I've been there, done that.
And now we ask that you please rise, take off your hats, and feel free to sing along as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
And our national anthem here from McKinney North. Our second trip into this one. As we were here last night as the LadyCats came from behind to win by the score of 7-5. Let's set Little Elm defensively. They will have Savannah Stover behind home plate and Lauren Lucas pitching. She pitched last night. Katie Adams is down at first. Madison Adams is at second. In fact, Eric pointed out that the whole right side of their defense is the Adams family. The shortstop, Izzy Fielder, and the third baseman's Caitlin Crow. Left field is Erin Margraff. Center fielder, Tatum Mowry, and the right fielder is Alyssa Adams.
Behind the plate, the catcher, number 12.
First three hitters here in the top of the first inning as the LadyCats home team last night. They'll be the visitors tonight. And they will have Alyssa Abram, Kelsey Wallace, and Brinkley Driver, 1, 2, and 3. And boy, did Brinkley have a great game last night with 3 out of 4 with 4 RBIs. And I asked Coach Carrillo, I said, how did you feel with Brinkley Driver up there with the bases loaded and the score tied? And he said, I was feeling pretty good at that point, and she hit the double that drove home the leading runs. And eventually the difference in the ball game was 2 runs. And we have Eric Buck with us. And Eric, your thoughts on a game 2 during series?
Well, after an exciting win last night, I believe Coach Carrillo is going to want the girls to get off to a fast start, see if we can score here early, put a little pressure on Little Elm, get them pressing a little bit, and see if we can just take control of the game early.
That would be a good plan. And here's Alyssa Abram hitting from the left side. Leading off here for the LadyCats against Lauren Lucas. And Lucas's pitch is called strike on the outside part of the plate. Strike 1 to Alyssa Abram. Oh my goodness, I hear a Cleveland Indian drum. What was that, Prosper maybe that did that? There's a pitch, called strike 2. So already starting out with those pitches out on the corners. First couple of pitches. 0-2 the count to Alyssa Abram. Alyssa, first one up, never knows what she's going to get. Here's the 0-2 pitch, swung on, hit up the middle, base hit for Alyssa Abram. Right up the middle. Shortstop couldn't get over to it. Let's see what Alyssa did last night, by the way. She was 1 out of 4 with 2 runs scored. And Abram on it first. She also stole a base, so she tested that catcher just about the time she got on the first time, seemed like. And here's Kelsey Wallace. Will hit with nobody out and a runner at first. And the pitch to Wallace right down the middle of the community drive here in McKinney. Kelsey Wallace was 2 for 2, scored a run and drove in a run. Also had 2 walks. And the 0-1 pitch swung on, base hit to left field. First 2 LadyCats hit them right in the holes. So Wallace on first and Abram on second. So that timing you were talking about, Eric, maybe starting off early, didn't I?
Well, I think it's an advantage seeing the same pitcher two games in a row. You get that timing down. You feel comfortable going into the box knowing you've hit her well last night.
Brinkley Driver up there, first pitch outside, strike. 0-1 the count to Brinkley Driver. Again, we talked about it last night. This is a spacious ballpark. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That got away from the catcher. Runners moved to third and second on the wild pitch. So Abram at third and Wallace at second. Sounds like the military's coming. Drums across the Mohawk here. And a 1-1 pitch to Driver, and that just missed off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike to Brinkley Driver, the slugger for the LadyCats in the 3-hole, plays down at first base. And Lucas with a 2-1 pitch, swung on and hit down to third base, and they throw home, and Alyssa Abram looked like within tagging distance of the third baseman, but she just kind of froze like deer in the headlights, and the player threw home to try to get her, and it was not a force, so how you score that, Eric? A fielder's choice, I think.
Just a fielder's choice.
Sadie Stroud.
So the base is loaded now with Driver at first,
I wonder if she thought there was a force.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's what she thought.
I think so. Abram at third and Wallace at second. The first pitch in there for a strike to Sadie Stroud. And one of the reasons you put somebody in the cleanup spot is to clean them up. And you expect 1, 2, and 3 to get on, and then the cleanup hitter to do something about it. Here's the 0-1 pitch outside. Good job by Savannah Stover to stay in front of that one. And 1 ball and 1 strike to Sadie Stroud.
Sadie had a loud double last night off the wall.
She sure did. Here's a 1-1 pitch, and that just missed just a little too high. 2 balls and 1 strike to Sadie Stroud. And Stroud was 1 for 3 with an RBI. And the next pitch is inside, 3-1, and nowhere to put Sadie Stroud. Again, the base is loaded. The first 3 Lady Cats on. And here's the 3-1 to Sadie, and missed outside, and the Lady Cats lead 1-0. As Stroud will get a base on balls RBI.
Right fielder number 4, Allie Fight.
Everybody moves up a base, and Alyssa Abrams scores the first run of the ball game. And here's Allie Fight. Allie last night 0 for 4, so she's certainly due. She has been hitting the ball very, very well, and she's had a rare off night last night. Swing and a miss on the first pitch from Lucas for strike 1. Lauren Lucas, a Wichita State commit as a mere sophomore. I think she won about 12 games this year. They play in a terribly tough district. Here's the 0-1 pitch, swung on, base hit out into right center field. 1 run scores. Here comes the runner around third. And for some reason, the runner stopped between second and third, and she's out to throw to second. She's out there. Boy, the Lady Cats not running the bases very well here in the first inning. I don't know what happened. It looked like the
Sadie,
runner around second.
She slipped and fell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I just saw her stop. I guess I was seeing her get up.
Now batting the third baseman, number 3, Kate Womack.
And so on Fight's solid single. She was thrown out at second base, but 2 runs do score. Wallace and Driver came around to score. But the other 2 runners that were on base got thrown out. So sorry, Sadie. I didn't want to. I just looked up and she stopped running, but as Eric said, she fell. So here's a 1-0 pitch, and it's swung on by Womack and hit foul, and it'll be out of play. And 1-1 count. No, excuse me. 1-1 count to Kate Womack. Yes, sir.
I wonder if that turf's a little slick after all the rain this morning.
Well, that would certainly make sense. And then Fight tried to stretch it to second when they threw after Stroud. Here's a ground ball to third. Nice scoop over there. Throw across, and the throw is good. And so the Little Elm Lady Lobos get out of the first inning, but the Lady Cats score 3 runs. And they had 3 hits. There were no Little Elm errors, and nobody left on base. So we played half an inning. It's the Lady Cats of Sulphur Springs 3 and Little Elm coming to bat. And let us quickly add, after we talked about the base running in the first inning, Coach David Carrillo he has a very aggressive approach on the bases, and he knows that you're going to make a certain number of outs when you stretch that, but he hopes that the pressure will also result in some breaks.
Right.
Eric, as a head coach, would you like an aggressive base running strategy yourself?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. If you're not getting thrown out once or twice a season at least, then you're just not aggressive enough.
The shortstop, number 5, Izzy Fielder.
So Izzy Fielder will lead off now for Little Elm, followed by Madison Adams and Lauren Lucas. 1, 2, 3 for Little Elm, as they are in a 3-0 hole already. The Lady Cats that got off to the slow start yesterday. First pitch from Haggerty right down the middle for strike 1 to Izzy Fielder, shortstop for the Lady Lobos. And Haggerty's 0-1 pitch swung on and hit slowly to second base. Smith has it, throw to first in time, out number 1. That'll bring up Madison Adams. See what Izzy did last night. Eric, you have
Adams.
1 for 4 with a double and a strikeout.
Yes, and then Adams was 2 for 4 with a run and a stolen base.
I noticed the PA and again that goes back to different scorekeeping techniques. Adams credited with 3 hits in a lot of places, her and Lucas, and I think we had Lucas with 3 hits, but not Adams.
Correct.
In fact, the LadyCat's scorekeeper may have had her with only 1. I think at least we had 2.
Right.
One of those probably errors that got by the fielder. The official score for somebody said that was a hit. Here's a 1-0 pitch. And that misses 2-0 the count.
We discussed that at the time. It was the ground ball through Sadie, and I could kind of see that.
Sierra?
I'm sorry, Sierra. Yes,
yeah,
through Sierra.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was what I was talking about. There's a foul ball right past the on-deck circle player, who's Lucas. 2-1 the count to Madison Adams. I'll say Madison Avenue. That's what that reminds me of. Left-handed hitter, awfully swift. Infield is in because of that. Here's a 2-1 pitch, swung on, grounded to shortstop. Wallace throws to first in time. Have to be flawless on that play, and she was. 2 up and 2 out, a couple of grounders on the infield, and here's Lauren Lucas, the pitcher, with the announcer mentioned, had 3 hits last night.
Lauren Lucas.
First inning single, 4th inning single, 7th inning single, and she also walked, so they did not get her out last night, at least not at home plate. So Lucas steps in there. Highly touted pitcher in the Metroplex. And the pitch on the way, swung on, grounded, fouled on the first base line. Brinkley driver gloved it, but it was over in foul territory.
I think that got
1 strike.
Went off her foot, I believe. She dropped her back pretty quick.
Yeah, that does not feel the greatest. Strike 1 count now to Lauren Lucas. 2 out, nobody on for Little Elm. We're in the bottom of the 1st inning. LadyCats leading 3-0. And the 0-1 pitch. That swung on, hit foul out of play. And 0-2 the count. Bailey Haggerty. We ordered a quick start, and we got one there.
Yes, we did.
First 3 batters got on base. And then Sadie Stroud with a walk and Allie Fight with an RBI single that drove in 2. And the 0-2 pitch. That's inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Lauren Lucas. Little Elm, a little community just a little bit outside of Denton. They play in a very tough Metroplex growth district that includes the likes of Prosper and the Colony. 1-2 pitch, swung on, hit foul. I think she got her foot again, Eric, and she threw that bat away.
Yes.
And she's just trying to shake that pain off. That has to not feel the greatest there, as we mentioned.
A little frustrating not having much success in the 1st inning pitching, and now she's beating herself up at the plate.
Cruel major league batters, when you would do that, they would bark like dogs, like your dogs were hurting.
Right.
And major leaguers do that to each other. And here's a 1-2 pitch. Just missed inside. I think Bailey thought that was a strike, but did not get the call. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We'll have, I don't believe you've mentioned the umpires, have you?
No.
We'll give you a chance to do that when we can.
Yes.
Let's see if Bailey cooperates. He may decide to end the inning here. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Call, strike 3. And so she does do that. 3 up and 3 down for Little Elm. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. And we have played a complete inning here from McKinney North. It's the LadyCats of Sulphur Springs 3 and Little Elm 0. It's the top of the 2nd inning. Before we get into the LadyCats batters for this inning, we got a text message from Jared Hammock. Wildcat Park just too wet to play for tomorrow. And he tells us that the Wildcats and Wiley East will be playing at McKinney Boyd beginning at 1 o'clock. And the if game, if needed, will be 30 minutes after the completion of the 1st game. So possible doubleheader over at McKinney Boyd tomorrow. We played Prosper over there. I have terrible memories of that one. There's a bunt attempt by Sierra Smith, bunted foul for strike one.
Real quick, the umpires behind the plate, we have Jeremy Haney, at first base Jason Holcomb, and at third base Alan Fields, and these are our home officials.
All right.
Jeremy's a very good official. He'll do a great job behind the plate.
And Sierra Smith, as the troops continue to muster behind us. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, grounded slowly. The third baseman cut it off, throw to first. Good play there by Caitlin Crow. I think if she would have depended on her shortstop, then Smith would probably have beaten that out. The third baseman doing a good job of cutting that off route number one, throwing to first. Here's Macy Hollins. 1 for 3 last night with a run scored. Hit the ball well on a couple of those outs. I remember that fly to left field was well struck.
Yes.
And the first pitch, Hollins bunts, and it bunted to foul. It's once again Carrillo trying to mix in a little small ball. And Hollins is a particular target because she is so fast. Figures if she puts that ball down, she'll be tough to throw out. She does hit from the right side, that would be, but she more than makes up with it with good speed. And Lucas ready to go. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It swung on and hit to the shortstop on a couple of hops. The throw to first is a good one. Looks like a sun field at first base, Eric, for that first baseman.
Very much so. This field faces the same way that LadyCat Park does.
Designated player number 8.
Right side will be very, very tough until the sun goes down or gets behind the trees.
So the Adams family, you're saying, out there at first and second and right field really are going to be tested.
Yes.
Especially that first baseman, I notice she's really battling that sun, and no sunglasses over there, so she must be comfortable with what she's seeing. First pitch is ball one now to Landry Bell. And here's a ball hit back up the middle. Shortstop cuts it off and dropped it, though. There's a throw to first. Not in time. So Landry Bell on, and have to score that one on error.
Right.
A clean pickup. Should have had her out at first.
As the old saying goes, couldn't find the handle for it.
14, Alyssa Abron.
Here's Alyssa Abron. She singled in the first inning right up the middle and came around to score the first LadyCat run. That's what table setters are supposed to do. And the first pitch to Alyssa is just missed. So ball one to Alyssa Abron. Remember one of the games we did, Eric, I talked about her slow start, and I think she had 3 hits the last 3 times at bat. Made me look a little ridiculous. I don't mind when the players do that.
All right.
1 ball and 1 strike to Alyssa Abron. And again, Landry Bell running down at first. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, hit back up the middle again. Base hit out of the center field. Bell will hold at second, and Alyssa Abron said, I like that so much the first time. This was kind of a different hit up the middle that time. Had just kind of hop through the middle instead of the hard hit ball. But the effect the same. So with 2 outs here, the LadyCats had put 2 on. And here's a tough Kelsey Wallace. She singled in the first inning to left field and came around and scored the second LadyCat run. And first pitch from Lucas is a call strike on the hinterlands out there. To Kelsey Wallace. Of course, the players just now trying to figure out the umpire in the strike zone. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's swung on, hit up the middle, and it's one hopper. It got by the center fielder. Rounding third is Landry Bell, and he's going to wave in Alyssa Abron, and she scores standing up at home plate. That shows you that speed that she has. I expected that to be a real close play at home, and a base hit for Kelsey Wallace. Did you get 2 RBIs on that?
Yes.
We'll have to factor in another error out there in center field.
22, Brinkley Driver.
As Abron came in to score, and so did Landry Bell. So it's 5-0. With still 2 out, and here's Brinkley Driver. First pitch misses, ball 1. Brinkley was on a fielder's choice. She hit it right down the third baseline, and we think the fielder maybe got a little bit confused with the situation and thought they had to force it home and threw home, and Alyssa Abram, who was off the base, looked like she could have reached out and tagged her. And when she threw home, Alyssa just said, thank you, I'll just step right back in here. 1-1 now the count to Brinkley.
Yeah, it just looks to me like Little Elm is just playing a little tight tonight.
Well, there's something about losing that first game. 2-1 pitch, and that is a called strike on the outside part of the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brinkley driver. Brinkley doesn't particularly like that ball way out there. She likes something she can pull or hit up the middle. Oh, she chased. That one was well off the plate, but that last strike had her thinking that she better. So she will strike out, but the Lady Cats, after 2 were out, pick up a couple of runs. They had 2 runs and got a couple of hits over a couple of Little Elm errors and had 1 runner left on base. So he played an inning and a half. And so far, David Carrillo likes what he sees on the scoreboard. The Lady Cats of Sulphur Springs 5 and Little Elm 0. Bottom of the second inning, Lady Cats 5 and the Little Elm Lady Lobos 0. They'll have the middle of the order coming up here. Alyssa Adams, Katie Adams, and Caitlin Crow. Hitters 4, 5, and 6. And here is Alyssa Adams. Can't just say Adams. They've got 3 of them on the roster. They all hit kind of up near the top of the roster. Swung on, grounded to short. 1 big hop to Wallace. Throw to first in time. Very nice play there. More difficult than it looked, Derek.
It was. That was a tough short hop right there. Yes, very tough hop. And Kelsey did a great job of setting herself and making a good, strong throw to get a pretty fast runner.
Yeah, you let that bounce a second time and you have no chance.
No chance.
So 1 up and 1 out. Here's Katie Adams, 5th hole hitter. Swing and a miss. Haggerty's first pitch. Bailey has struck out 1. She has walked nobody as this is the 5th batter she's faced. Goes after that rosin bag.
Bailey only had 12 pitches in the first inning, so she's
cooking right along.
Doing very well.
0-1 pitch. That one's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Katie Adams. And this Katie is K-A-I-T-Y. That's unusual to me. Not what you normally expect. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I think we mostly think like Katie Couric or something like that. K-A-T-I-E. I worked with a Katie one time, but she was a Katie with a C.
Mm-hmm.
Her first name and last name both, and you wanted to figure that they were both K words, but not the case. That pitch misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And this is Katie Adams, first baseman for Little Elm, right-handed hitter. Again, 1 out, nobody on. I didn't get first pitch tonight. I don't think did you write that down?
No, and I didn't either.
Probably like 7:03, 7:05, something like that. Swing and a miss, and Haggerty with her second strikeout. So 2 up and 2 out, and here's Caitlin Crow.
Third baseman, number 14, Caitlin Crow.
And Crow, the third baseman for Little Elm. Again, as far as playoffs are concerned, I only remember a Lady Cat soccer playoff game with Little Elm. Been 3-4 years ago, seems like. Of course, that's my deferred answer. Probably could be 10 years.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's a bigger span than I realized, and then sometimes shorter. When you told me the last time we were at this ball field, that felt like a lot longer time ago than it actually was. Strike 2, the count to Caitlin Crow. Back in the days of Kaylee Dixon. Pitching for the Lady Cats. And the 0-2 pitch. Just off the plate, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wow. Haggerty nibbling on the outside. Not rewarded on that one. In fishing parlance, that was a dry hole. And the 1-2 pitch, that's swung on and hit foul off to the right side. Makes its way all the way over the field and heads toward the track. I assume goes around their football stadium over here. Or do they, is that a practice field or something?
I think it's a practice field. They play at a community
the Ron Poe Stadium.
Yes.
Here's the pitch. Is swung on, hit foul back into the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Poes, great buddies of Greg Owens when he was coaching in Lindale. He thoroughly enjoyed talking to those gentlemen.
Right.
Ron Poe was his coach.
Right.
And Ron was creating a big career, so much so that they named the football stadium after Ron Poe. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch misses outside, and 2-2 the count to Caitlin Crow. 2 out, nobody on, bottom of the second.
That's been... Oh.
What's that? Here's 2-2 pitch. And missed inside, and the count goes full. The first full count that Bailey's had in the ball game.
Just in my mind, I thought that was a strike because it was maybe a little closer than some of the ones he's called strikes.
I'm just kind of along for the ride here. Here's a 3 ball, 2 strikes count, and here called strike 3 on that outside part of the plate. The third strikeout for Bailey Haggerty in first 6 batters. It's another 3 up and 3 down inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no runners left on base. We played 2 complete innings here from McKinney North. LadyCats of Sulphur Springs 5, and Little Elm's Lady Lobos 0. And moving now into the top of the 3rd inning, it'll be Sadie Stroud, Allie Fight, and Kate Womack, the scheduled hitters. That'll be
leading off the top
number
half
5,
of the
6,
third
and 7
for the LadyCats. Left fielder, number 18, Sadie Stroud.
Make that 4, 5, and 6. How about that?
Right.
So Sadie Stroud will lead off. She walked and drove in a run with the bases loaded. So she has no official at-bats. There's a reason she's hitting in that 4 spot. She has done a great job of hitting this year. And Lucas, first pitch on the way, and that one is in there for a call strike to Sadie Stroud. LadyCats with 3 in the first inning, 2 more in the second. And they have 5 hits, 5 runs and 5 hits. And the pitch from Lauren Lucas, 0-1, swung on and grounded past the shortstop into left field for a base hit for Sadie Stroud. I thought the shortstop was going to be able to get to it, but it would have been a futile maneuver because she was never going to throw Sadie Stroud out on that.
Oh, no.
And here's Allie Fight. Fight had a real strong single back in the first inning that drove home 2 runs. Unless you take one of those RBIs away, do you? On the error?
Yes. That would.
Okay.
Since the run scored on the error, she would not get credit for that one.
All right. Here's a bunt by Allie Fight. It's a good one. The throw to first. The sacrifice is done to a T there. Little Elm makes the out, and on the play, Stroud moves down to second.
Did a very good job of getting the bunt down soft enough that the first baseman had to really come get it. She had no chance to make a play at second.
I remember our Little League coach one day said, we're going to see who can bunt. With no instruction, just sit up there. Of course, none of us knew what we were doing, so we didn't bunt very well. There's a pitch that is a call strike. And after the drill, he looked at one of his assistant coaches and said, just what I thought, nobody can bunt. And we couldn't. 0-1 pitch, swung on, hit foul back to the screen. A little bit of instruction might have helped.
Right. I know where they could get some instruction on bunting.
I would instruct not to keep your hand exposed on the outside of the bat. I saw a guy bunt the ball over a screen one time, and he bunted it right off those fingers. Ooh, yeah, it was not pleasant. Foul ball, 0-2 the count now to Kate Womack. They have 1 out. And runner at second base. That's Sadie Stroud out there. Kate grounded to third her first time up, 0-for-1. Way outside. Catcher did a good job of keeping it from going to the backstop. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kate Womack. And the 1-2 pitch. That swung on, hit down to the shortstop. It slowly hit. Picked up, throw to first. Close play. She's safe. That ball hit the deep short like that, and it wasn't hit particularly hard, and so Kate Womack with a infield single.
Number 17, Sierra Smith.
Since the ball was hit ahead of her, Sadie Stroud stayed at second base. So runners at second and first with one out, and here's Sierra Smith, who grounded the ball down to third her first time up. 0 for 1. Sierra, right-handed hitter. And she's bunting and bunt, and I think that caught the catcher.
Yeah. Oh, it got her.
She's dancing around a little bit out there. And the umpire, you will see them being very comforting. They will. He stepped out, kind of stopped the game, and actually Coach Miller is coming out of the dugout to check on the status of Savannah Stover after that bunt caught her and make sure she's all right. She's nodding her head like she's okay. Or either that or she said, "Does it hurt?" Yes.
And with the turf field, the umpire can't clean off the plate to give her some time.
Well, he could, but
well, I guess, yeah.
That's some of the old traditional ones will.
Right.
Still got that old whisk broom. So 0-1 the count to Sierra Smith. Again, runners at second and first with one out. And Sierra waiting up there. And here's the 0-1 pitch on the way. Squared to bunt and then pulled the bat back, and it was a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Coach Carrillo really playing more, it seemed like to me, more small ball than I've seen him play in years past. That seems to be my impression.
He never liked
here's a 1-1 pitch. That swung on, hit foul off to the right. Yes, sir.
He never liked giving away outs. That's the way he explained it back when we were coaching together. If a girl could hit, he wanted her to hit the ball.
He probably likes the 3-run homer, doesn't he?
He does. He does. he and 3-run homers get along very well.
Yeah, he likes to see that swinging of that bat. Here's a 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Sierra Smith is out for out number 2. In fact, Texas Ranger announced
the catcher, number 15,
Eric
Nadell,
to call the 3-run homer the 3-run Jimmy Jack.
Right.
And I recently got to go to an affiliates meeting and with the Texas Rangers as an affiliated station. And Eric spoke to us, and he told about how he picked that up. He steals everything, just like all good announcers. Here's the pitch into Macy Hollins. It's in there for a call strike. But Jeremy Giambi in the Bay Area called his 3-run homers Jimmy Jacks. And then there was a band that formed and got quite a bit of notoriety after that all started. There's a ball blooped out toward shortstop and caught by Izzy Fielder. And that will do it for the LadyCats.
Sulphur Springs does not score in the top of the third.
No runs on 2 hits.
They lead 5-0
no Little Elm errors.
2.5 innings.
And a couple of runners left on base. We played 2.5 here from McKinney North. LadyCats of Sulphur Springs 5 and Little Elm 0. This bottom of the third inning, going back to Eric Nadell a little bit, he said he would hear a phrase that he liked and he would try it out, or he'd write it down and think about it. If the situation arose, he would use it. And he would kind of judge on how people felt about it when they heard it, and whether it sounded natural coming out of him. And but he just said he likes to borrow.
Leading off the bottom half
I think he was heavily influenced by New York Mets announcers when they were very bad, and he said they really had to be creative to keep you interested in the ball game. But in New York, I think he's a Brooklyn native. They had some great baseball announcers back in the day. Here's Michaela Roy, the designated player here in the bottom of the third inning. And the pitch to Michaela is inside for ball 1. Bailey Haggerty, 6 up and 6 down so far through 2 innings with 3 strikeouts. And Bailey's 1-0 pitch right down in there. 1 ball and 1 strike. And again, Haggerty going to the wristband. And the 1-1 pitch. That swung on and hit up the middle and base hit. Sierra Smith made a dive for the ball, couldn't come up with it, and a solid single for Michaela Roy. First Little Elm hit out of their 7-hole hitter.
Number 9, Aaron Margraf.
Here's Aaron Margraf. Is that tonight?
Tonight, yes.
In softball, Hallsville versus Frisco Wakeland. at those artificial fields at Rains, which we've seen this year. Very nice. And Hargrave, excuse me, not Hargrave, but Margraf takes the pitch outside for ball 1. Again, runner at first. And nobody out. And Haggerty's 1-0 pitch is swung on and hit out toward right field. And Ali Fight will have to battle the sun. Makes the catch out there. And throws the ball back in the infield. So nice job there by Ali Fight. Out in sun-splashed right field.
Center fielder, number 3, Tatum Mowry.
That'll bring up Tatum Mowry. She's hitting in the 9 hole, the center fielder for Little Elm. 1 out and 1 on at first. And Haggerty going to that wristband.
I was talking to Coach Hammock earlier today.
And here's a pitch swung on, hit out towards center field. Alyssa Abram tracking. Oh, it almost got over her head, but she reached up and made a good catch. That ball was rising a little bit. Looked like one of Lucas's rise balls.
Really carried.
But out number 2, a nice catch by Alyssa Abram. 2 out with a runner at first. You were talking to Coach Hammock about.
He had checked at Rains to tell about the availability, and they've got 2 games tonight and 4 games tomorrow on their baseball field.
Don't you know it? Yeah, both their softball and baseball fields all turf. LadyCats played in the Sulphur Springs tournament there. Here's a ball popped up on the infield. Brinkley driver in foul territory and makes the catch. And the LadyCats allow their first hit, but they put them up 3 up and 3 down after that.
Full innings here from the ballpark.
3 innings of play completed now. In the bottom of the 3rd, Little Elm no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We played 3 at McKinney North. It's the LadyCats of Sulphur Springs 5 and Little Elm 0. LadyCats batters here in the top of the 4th inning. Landry Bell down in the 9 hole. In the top of the order, Alyssa Abram and Kelsey Wallace scheduled to hit. Again, Wildcats will be playing game 2 in their series. They're down 1-0. They'll play Wiley East over at McKinney Boyd, 1 o'clock on Saturday, with the if game to follow if needed, as the ball is hit back into the screens for strike 1 to Landry Bell. Bell was on an error her first time. Grounded the ball to short, and the shortstop almost had a clean pickup, but dropped the ball, and shortstop can't do that. You got to be perfect out there. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This swung on and hit foul off to the right side. Was that Mike Lamb trying to make the one-handed snag over there?
Saw that.
0-2 the count. Lamb, by the way. Actually, he didn't get close enough to even give him an error on that. Base hit all the way. 0-2 pitch. That's off the outside part of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Landry Bell. Bell back in from the right side. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. And that will be out number 1.
The center fielder, number 14, Alyssa
3rd strikeout for Lauren Lucas. So 1 out here in the top of the 4th, and here's Alyssa Abram. She has 2 singles. And she's hit them both right up the middle of the diamond. If you can get it past that tall pitcher, that's a good way to go. And the first pitch to Alyssa. Let it come in there for a called strike. Looked like she wanted to bunt at it and let it go. So strike 1 on Abram. Again, she is 2 for 2 in the ball game. LadyCats already have 7 hits. That pitch outside skipped by the catcher, but nobody on, so 1 ball and 1 strike.
I think Alyssa was trying to bunt that ball down to the third base side, and it was inside, so she just let it go.
That third baseman pulled in, so was the first baseman. Infielder, second and short, kind of in the baseline. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Swung on, grounded, right field base hit. So Alyssa Abram has 3 clean singles. That's the player that Seton Hall signed.
Number 7, Kelsey Wallace.
As a D1 player up there for the Lady Pirates. We wish her the best up in Orange, New Jersey. And here's Kelsey Wallace, 1 on and 1 out. Kelsey a couple of singles in the ball game. And the pitch on the way, missed outside, ball 1. Very quiet crowd here, Eric, tonight.
It is.
And the 1-1 pitch on the way, and that looked in there for a call strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Or as they used to say when Nolan Ryan was pitching, that sounded like a strike. Not sure I saw it. And Lucas with the 1-1 pitch. Just off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike to Kelsey Wallace. Kelsey, a junior. Seemed like just yesterday she was a freshman shortstop for this team. And the 2-1 pitch, that swung on, hit foul off to the right side. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I don't remember the batter, but I believe there was a batter years ago that umpire called a strike on him with Nolan Ryan pitching, and he said, well, that sounded high.
There you go. Umpire says, you're out of here. Here's a 2-2 pitch. That swung on, hit foul off the right side. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Seeing a great job of both the pitcher, the catcher, and the hitter adjusting to the umpire. He's getting a little bit extra on the outside corner. They're throwing it out there, and the hitters are making contact, taking it the other way.
And the 2-2 pitch, that's down low, and Abram takes off. She will steal second base. The ball goes into center field with the center fielder backing up, as she should. And Abram will steal a base, and that's her second stolen base in the series in 2 attempts, I believe.
Yes.
I don't believe they sent anybody that got caught that I recall.
No.
Count is now full to Kelsey Wallace. Last pitch a ball, so. And now Lucas has asked for a new softball. Our home plate umpire. Was that Jeremy?
Jeremy Haney.
Haney? Oh, Haney. I guess his wife calls him Honey.
Probably.
But that's Jeremy Haney. Here's a 3-2 pitch. That swung on, foul back into the screen. Wallace hangs tough in there with 3 balls and 2 strikes. With Abram down at second, we have 1 out in the inning. And LadyCats up 5-0. And they've had 8 hits in the ball game so far. And Lucas with a 3-2 pitch. That sails outside and a walk for Kelsey Wallace. I think every time up, Wallace has either hit a single or walk. That's her 3rd walk, and she has 4 hits out of 6 bats in a game and a half. So runners at second and first with 1 out, and here's Brinkley Driver. Fielder's choice in the first, struck out in the third, and swings and hits a long blast to left field, and that's out of here. A home run. A 3-run Jimmy Jack by Brinkley Driver. And this is an expansive ballpark, but even Yellowstone couldn't have held that one.
That was a bomb right there. The umpires after the game last night, saw them out in the parking lot. They were talking about number 22, and the people up in the press box when I came in to get the lineups today were asking me about 22. They're impressed with Brinkley, as well they should be.
Yes, that is true, and she is a true power hitter, and a 3-run home run. It is 8-0. And scheduled to hit now Sadie Stroud. So after 1 out, again, LadyCats have started with 1 out and then 3 straight batters reach, and including Driver's 3-run homer. Stroud is 1 for 1 with a walk, and that pitch is going to hit the outside part of the plate for strike 1. So we're in the top of the 4th inning. LadyCats up 8-0.
It's 7 RBIs for Brinkley in 2 games.
My goodness. And the pitch on the way, that outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. I gave the umpire a little bit of extra time on that.
Right.
And called it a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to Sadie Stroud. And Lucas, 1-1 pitch, hit foul down third base way. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Sadie Stroud. And 1 out in the inning, 3 runs in on the 3-run homer by Brinkley Driver. And 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's a base hit into right field, hit out there by Stroud. They throw behind her to first base. The ball got away. Stroud will hold on. Didn't get away that much, but that's 2 for 2 now for Sadie Stroud with a walk.
Right fielder number 4, Allie Fate.
So 3 hits in this inning. That's 8 in the ball game. No, excuse me, more than that. 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Already double digits on the hits. And here's Allie Fight. She had a big single and also a sacrifice. Had an RBI single. And the pitch high and outside. Ball 1 to Allie Fight. She may be the best story this year for a player that's kind of, you know, I'm not sure Coach Carrillo knew what to expect from her, but I would say she has achieved past his expectations, if I had to guess.
I'd agree.
High and inside, 2 balls and no strikes. I mean, she's just turned into, I mean, she hits that ball so hard. And a couple of these players have kind of climbed up through the lineup by continuing to get base hits, and Allie's one of them. Seemed like she was kind of a 7-hole hitter for a long time. That pitch outside, there's a throw to first, Stroud back in. And 3-0 the count now to Allie Fight. Allie steps out. And back in there. And the 3-0 pitch. Ball 4. The runners at second and first. The LadyCats trying to build for another big blow.
Number 3, Kate Womack.
Kate Womack, 1 out of 2, grounded to third and singled. I think it was Kate last night hit that double that just about left the yard in left center field.
Yes, she did.
She hit that a ton. And first pitch to Womack is a call strike on the outside part of the plate. 0-1 the count. Still just 1 out. And runners at second and first, and 3 runs in for the LadyCats, who lead 8-0. There's the ball hit back to Lucas. She throws to third out there. Throw to first, not nearly in time. And Womack is on the fielder's choice.
Second baseman, number 17, Sierra Smith.
Little Elm gets their second out. Runner still at second and first now. Allie Fight down at second and Womack at first. And here's Sierra Smith. Grounded to third, struck out, 0 for 2. Pitch well off the, excuse me, strike.
Right on the corner.
Yeah. I didn't see that corner. Dust that plate off. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Sierra went out that time and tried to hit that pitch way outside. I mean, if you're going to call it a strike, you better reach out there. As Eric said, you got to adjust. Reach out there and hit it. And the 0-2 pitch. Missed outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Boy, mission impossible for the winner of this series. Your mission, should you choose, Forney. Probably. They play the Colony. They're still alive. They're in game 2 tonight. Forney won big. It was like 12-1, 13-1, something like that last night.
Right.
A very impressive showing. I think the Colony had defeated Forney last year on the way to the state championship. Probably the regional final, if I had to guess. Here's a 1-2 pitch. That's swung on and hit well to a right center field. A well-struck ball. It's off the base of the wall. 1 run comes in, Fight. And here comes Womack, and she will score. And they're going to throw to third and out at third. No, safe. Safe. Missed the tag. Bob Euchre screamed. Well, I'd say a double for Sierra Smith. Driving in 2.
Well, I think it's a triple. I mean, there was no...
I just, the hesitation. I go, okay, let's, I'll go for triple.
Okay.
And the LadyCats up 10-0 now. Now we're having, I think somebody else giving a look as to whether the runner was out at third. Third base umpire talking with the home plate umpire.
If there's a change call, you may have, umpires may fight. Having been in that position.
And safe at third base. So the umpire made the call out there, and it was backed up by the home plate umpire. Either that or he said, I didn't get a clear look at it. I'll go with your superior judgment right on top of the plate. Seemed to be very adamant on the call. Here's Macy Hollins now. 2 outs. And Smith down at third base. And the pitch to Macy. The LadyCats up 10-0. Wow. They are playing with such confidence, and that come from behind win just probably deflated Little Elm a little bit. 1-0 pitch. And there is a check for first base. No swing, says the umpire over there. So 2-0 the count to Macy Hollins. She grounded to short and hit a popper to the shortstop. Oh, excuse me. This is this is Hollins. The ball gets through, and coming in to score for the Lady Cats is Sierra Smith. And so Smith scoring the Lady Cats' 11th run on a wild pitch. And 3-0 the count to Macy Hollins. And that pitch, call, strike. I heard him beller that one. 3-1 the count. They use some sound effects over at Mount Pleasant, and they have a cow that moves.
Right.
Every time they did that, those kids were just loving that. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Call, strike, 3-2 the count. That was during the seeding games over at Mount Pleasant. That was about the only thing I enjoyed over there. It was a long afternoon. Hollins back in there, 3-2 pitch. Too high, ball 4, and the Lady Cats have batted all the way around and will ruin our scorebook here. But again, Eric, we don't mind that.
Not at all.
Landry Bell scheduled to hit.
Landry Bell!
On an error, scored a run, and then struck out in the 4th, so 0 for 2. Lady Cats pounding the ball with a 6-run inning. Here's a pitch to Landry, kind of an excuse-me swing back into the net for strike 1. With Macy Hollins with a lot of speed running down to first. I think with the lead, Coach Grillo will probably put that speed in his pocket here with 11-0 lead. That pitch swung on by Bell and hit back into the screen. There's no need to get team inflamed.
Right.
Those kind of things can come back to haunt you. Oh, 0-2 the count now to Landry Bell. Hitting here in the top of the 4th inning. Lucas looking in very intently. And the pitch on the way. Missed outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Macy Hollins running down at first. And the next pitch on the way got away from the catcher, and Hollins will move down to second. Now, I don't know if that would be insulting as much as anything, but I've seen Coach Carrillo in routes before, just in a really, really one-sided game where it's like 20-0. I've seen him instruct his players to lead off illegally so they'll be called out.
I was looking to see if she was leaving early just to get that out.
2-2 pitch, swung on, hit foul off to the right side, out of play. I don't know, it's kind of like football. You hear everything about, teams that start taking knees and stuff like that. And I've had some coaches that have had that stuff done against them, and they say, that's insulting.
Mm-hmm.
And, and just play it straight up. And if we can't stop you, we can't stop you. But don't do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Here, a 2-2 pitch that bounced in. And 3-2 now to Landry Bell. Bell steps out. Hollins is at second. Lady Cats with 6 runs in on the inning, 2 outs. And the 3-2 pitch came in low. And the ball also got away at home plate, so Hollins moves down to third. And Landry Bell gets the base on balls. So runners at third and first with 2 outs. And here's Alyssa Abram, who is 3 for 3.
Now batting, the center fielder, number 14, Alyssa Abram.
And clean singles, as clean as a hound's tooth, whatever that means.
Right.
Most of them probably need some dental work. I wouldn't say clean in that regard, but that's an old expression.
Right.
Somebody out there probably knows where that came from. Runners at first and third, 2 out, and the pitch to Alyssa is outside for ball 1. Athletic banquet on Monday night, 6 o'clock. Chance to hear from all the teams this year. 1-0 pitch, that's outside. Always kind of like that walk back down memory lane. You kind of forget, what kind of season did volleyball have? What kind of season do basketball, girls and boys, Lots of district championships this year, I know that. 2-0 pitch at the inside, got off the glove, and here comes Hollins, and she will score the 12th run for the Lady Cats. I assume that's another wild pitch.
Right. She moved all the way around the bases on wild pitches.
So Holland scores the 12th run. Runner also moves to second, Landry Bell. And that pitch to Abram, and a 3-0 pitch came in for a strike. And Alyssa single up the middle, and single to right field. I think it's only fair that she should shoot for a single to left field this time.
I'm with you.
3-1 pitch.
There it is.
On into left center field, and it's going to fall in there for a base hit. Rounding third for the LadyCats coming in to score, Landry Bell. And Alyssa Abram with a double and an RBI, and the LadyCats lead 13-0. Now this, for the 10-run rule, you have to play at least 5 innings, so Little Elm will have to hit twice more. Let's see if they can, like to get something stirred up and going here. And Kelsey Wallace, 2 for 2 with a walk. First pitch in there for a strike. And Kelsey has scored 2 runs. And Lucas 0-1 pitch, swung on, hit one hopper back to the pitching circle. Throw to first is in time, and the long inning for the LadyCats is finally over. It's a whopper. They score 8 runs in the inning.
They lead 13-0.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look like 6 hits, Eric. Is that what you had? I don't believe that they had an error.
I've got 5 hits.
5 hits, okay. Single for Abram. Home run for Driver. Single for Stroud, that's 3. Single for Fight is 4. Shara Smith a triple, that's 5.
Fight walked.
Oh, what was that?
Fight walked.
Oh, 5 walks in that inning?
No, Fight walked.
Oh, Fight walk. I had her as a base hit. Okay. Well, we'll change that to 5 hits then. There were no errors. And LadyCats left 2 runners on base. We've played 3.5 innings now. Finally get it back to James, and our score after 3.5, the LadyCats of Sulphur Springs 13 and Little Elm 0. And we're in the bottom of the 4th inning now. And leading off for Little Elm will be Madison Adams, followed by Lauren Lucas and Alyssa Adams. This will be hitters 2, 3, and 4 for the Lady Lobos. And first pitch misses outside for ball 1. I have to recap what's been going on with Bailey Haggerty. That was a long inning. She's had 3 strikeouts, given up 1 hit, and has not walked anybody. And this pitch swung on, grounded to Wallace at short. Room service hop, little high throw, pulled Brinkley Driver off, but she made the nice tag at first. And so 1 up and 1 out.
Now batting, the pitcher, number 19, Lauren Lucas.
Lauren Lucas now hits. She struck out in the first inning, 0 for 1. And again, a highly touted pitcher for Little Elm, and said to be ticketed for Wichita State, the Shockers. And she hits one back up the middle. She certainly swings that bat, base hit. I wonder if they have her projected as a hitter or a pitcher.
I don't know.
I don't know what she plays in the field.
Right fielder,
but
number 1.
Probably an athlete to play just about anywhere.
Right.
So a single, that's the second hit off Haggerty. A runner at first with 1 out. Here's Alyssa Adams. She grounded to short her first time up to Kelsey Wallace. And Haggerty, very determined young lady out there. And the pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Alyssa Adams, strike 1. Again, 1 out and 1 on. LadyCats leading 13-0. If I can add up those hits, 5, 10, 12. Looks like 13 runs and 12 hits. And that pitch swung on, hit foul out of play, 0-2 the count to Alyssa Adams. Adams, a right-handed hitter. They've got Lucas running at first, and just to kind of, I think David Carrillo did a little research on her and found out she's really kind of the key cog to the team. Just a good athlete. There's a pitch, swing and a miss, and Hollins throw to first. Lucas back in there. But strikeout called at home plate on Melissa Adams for out number 2. And for Bailey, 1, 2, 3, strikeout number 4.
First baseman, number 7, Katie Adams.
Katie Adams now, she struck out in the second inning. 2 out, runner at first. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, LadyCats leading 13-0. That pitch got away from Hollins, and Lucas will head to second. Wild pitch, I guess, Eric?
Yes.
How would you grade Macy as a catcher? We've talked before, kind of she's out of position, but
right.
You know, she's worked at her craft very hard behind home plate.
She does a very good job.
There's a 1-0 pitch that's called strike. She made it quite clear when we talked to her about going to Texas Southern that she was going as an outfielder.
Right.
But they needed a catcher, and she stepped right in and has really performed well, as Eric said. And the 1-1 pitch off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Katie Adams. This is a K-A-I-T-Y Adams. And no double D, thank you very much. It was that Strange family on TV.
Right.
Have to catch them on, was that one of those old TV networks? 2-1
right.
pitch. There's a call strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, 2 out, runner at second base in the bottom of the 4th inning. Little Elm has had 2 hits off Bailey Haggerty in the ball game so far as we play here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And the 2-2 pitch, that swung on, hit back to Haggerty, and she stabs it and throws to first. And the LadyCats are out of another inning. No runs, 1 hit, no LadyCat errors, and 1 runner left on base. We played 4 complete innings here from McKinney North. LadyCats of Sulphur Springs 13 and Little Elm 0. It'll be Brinkley driver Sadie Stroud and Allie Fight, the scheduled hitters for the LadyCats in the top of the 5th inning. They lead 13-0 as the LadyCats have wrapped out 12 hits, and Little Elm has collected only 2 against Bailey Haggerty.
The first baseman, number 22, Brinkley Driver.
Driver on a fielder's choice and struck out and then hit the big 3-run homer. And the pitch is going to be in. Oh, no. Outside. Ball 1.
I think it was down.
So 1-0 the count to Brinkley Driver. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that's a call strike out there. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Lucas ready to work. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That was over but low, and 2-1 the count. Brinkley just crushes that ball. That was a long home run to left field.
I think they made her mad when they struck her out.
And the 2-1 pitch misses outside, 3-1. I haven't seen too many teams that have refused to pitch to her. The LadyCats have certainly done that to some big boppers. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and that is misses for ball 4, and a base on balls for Brinkley Driver. And Sadie Stroud. Sadie has 2 hits, 2 for 2 with a walk.
We got Carly Adams running at first base.
Oh, okay.
For the LadyCats, number 10, Carly Adams.
So she'll have some friends, I would think, in the Little Elm.
Now batting the left fielder,
a lot of Adams
18,
on that
Sadie
team.
Stroud.
And compare notes, but there's lots of Adams out there. And here's the pitch, high and outside now to Sadie Stroud for ball 1. And the 1-0 pitch. There's a throw to first. Adams got a pretty good lead off the base and dived back in. 2-0 the count now to Sadie Stroud.
Carly's going to college to play softball. I don't remember where she's going. Remember that from senior night?
Call strike. Yeah, you've got me there. I should know that, but
was it in Oklahoma maybe?
One of about, I think, at least maybe like 4 that had offers.
Mm-hmm.
course, we mentioned Macy and Abram. And 3-1 pitch. And misses to Sadie Stroud. And Stroud, for the second time in this ball game, works the walk. So a pair of walks to start the fifth inning. So 2 on with nobody out. Here's Allie Fight. Has a single, a sacrifice, and a walk. So scored a run, so has an RBI. And a mound conference here. We think there may be a second pitcher, Lucas, with has, I think I mentioned 12 wins, and they've got 18 as a team, so they obviously got 6 wins out of somebody else. But Lucas has been the main weapon out in the circle. Home plate umpire now going to break up what we used to call the tea party when I was in the Little League.
She's thrown a lot of pitches tonight. She'd thrown 101 coming into this inning.
Oh, goodness.
So she's over 110 now.
What did she throw last night? Probably about the same.
122 last night.
Oh, my goodness. Well, see, it's skewed by baseball because we had that very interesting conversation where I was talking about how, pitchers could just throw forever, and you said, well, it's the legs.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gives out on the pitcher. Just exhaust them. Pitch outside.
Pitch ready
Ball
at
1.
First base for the Lady Cats, number 6, Nyla Lindley.
So Fight at home plate, and now Lindley. Nyla running down at first. 1-0 pitch outside. Nyla had an exciting moment last night. She scored a run.
They did a great bunt.
Yeah. There's a check on the swing. Umpire down at third says no swing.
Why are you asking third base? The right-handed umpire.
1 for 1 with run scored for Nyla last night with that bunt single. Here's a 2-0 pitch, and the ball is hit by Fight out to center field. Catch made out there for out number 1. And that'll bring up Kate Womack.
Third baseman, number 3, Kate Womack.
Kate hit in 3 appearances, grounded to third, singled, and on a fielder's choice. Steps in there with runners at first and second. And 1 out now, pitch outside for ball 1 to Kate Womack. Well, once Coach Carrillo put her in a time or two, and she seemed like was getting a hit or 2 every game. He would do that. And next thing you know, she's out there on a regular basis. There's a pop-up on the infield. The first baseman makes the catch. Infield fly, as Eric properly called.
Now batting, second baseman, number 17, Sierra Smith.
So 2 out with runners at second and first, and here's Sierra Smith, grounded to third, struck out, and hit a triple, which plated a couple of runs. So Sierra 1 out of 3. And again, Lindley running down at first, and Adams at second. And the 1-0 pitch has swung and hit foul back into the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. I guess in a game like this, Eric, you just don't want to draw attention to yourself. You don't want to do anything that the other team can accuse you of running up the score or any of that sort of thing.
Right.
The 1-1 pitch missed outside, 2-1 the count.
And Coach Krill is very thoughtful about that. He doesn't want people to. He doesn't want to run the score up, and so he's. Well, when you got a good offense, it's just going to happen sometimes.
Here's a foul ball. The first baseman couldn't quite catch up to it. Over by the dugout over there. And 2-2 the count now to Kate Womack. There's 2 outs and runners at second and first in a 13-0 ball game. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Swung on and hit back to the pitcher. Fielded by Lucas. Throw to first. LadyCats threatened, but that's going to be all in the 5th inning. Had no runs. There were no hits. No Little Elm errors. 2 runners left on base because of the 2 walks. And so we played 5 complete innings of play now. And our score after 5, and that is the end of the ball game, Eric Buck.
Select officials.
Or apparently not.
Schools must agree to accept the officials prior to the start of the game.
Third baseman, number 14, Caitlin Crow.
Caitlin Crow will lead off, followed by Michaela Roy and Erin Margraff, or Margaff. Margraff, isn't it? Yes. Left the R out of her name in the scorebook. And Haggerty ready to work here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And pitch on the way, down too low for ball 1. Thought we might see Bailey throw a no-hitter this year against Texas High. She finally, I think, yielded a hit maybe in the 6th inning out of 7. A 1-0 pitch. And it's followed a real long inning where she was on the bench for a long time. I kind of worried there was a pretty good hitter for Texas High coming up. Sure enough, hit out to right center field, and nobody was going to catch it. Wasn't one of those you could even debate. Here's a 2-0 pitch, swing and a miss by Caitlin Crow. Of course, I remember thinking of playoffs, so what a great ball game that Bailey pitched against Mansfield Legacy in Game 2 of that series. And they were leaning heavily on her then, and she kind of ran out of gas that day in Game 3, but she was fabulous in Game 2. Here's the ball swung on and hit out to center field. Alyssa Abram backing up, makes a catch. Route number 1. And let's see the text monster there.
Player, number 4, Michaela Roy.
From Coach Owens, who probably would like me to mention again that Sulphur Springs baseball will be playing at McKinney Boyd. That'll be Game 2 of their by-district series. That'll be Saturday at 1, and the if necessary game, will follow the first game by 30 minutes. They'll have a 30-minute break and launch right into Game 3. First pitch to Michaela Roy is in there for a strike. So a trip to McKinney again. A little bit further, not too far away from here. Here's the 0-1 pitch. There's a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. LadyCats out in front 13-0. And Haggerty ready to work here. And the 0-2 pitch, that's outside.
Things haven't gone too well for Little Elm in this game, but they've got a bright future. They've only got 3 starters that are seniors, so they got a majority of their team coming back, and
including that good pitcher.
Including the pitcher.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The ball hit out of play to the left. Count remains 1-2. And I'm not sure what their new district looks like, but they'll be getting rid of Prosper. They're going up to Class 6A. I'm not sure what's happening to the Colony. Don't know about their growth. They're having a lot of it, but I don't know if they've grown that much. 2-2 the count.
I would suspect they're going 6A as well.
Who's that, Little Elm?
No.
The Colony?
Yes.
That'd make them the big dog, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Of course, I don't know who they're in there with now. Here's a 2-2 pitch. That swung on and popped up to shortstop. Wallace makes the catch. And Little Elm down to their last out here. A dominating performance by the LadyCats. They'll just put fear in the hearts of those foreign girls.
Number 9, Erin Margraff.
Here's Erin Margraff. She flied to right. Her only other appearance. Bailey Haggerty has been so efficient. It's only the 2nd time she's faced her tonight. And the pitch to Margraff swung on. Ooh, caught Macy Hollins off the mask. Good old mask. Used to have a hockey goalkeeper. Every time the puck hit his mask, he would put a dot on there, and that to show where that would have hit him right in the face. And that mask was full of dots. Good old mask.
Can't imagine them playing without mask back in the day.
Cannot imagine. Here's 0-1 pitch. Swung on. hit back into the screen. 0-2. Little Elm down to their last strike here. 2 out, nobody on. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Lady Cats out to a 13-0 lead. In a game that must be about, I'd say, an hour 20 or so. It's been a quick one. And Bailey Haggerty, the 0-2 pitch on the way. That swung on, hit foul off to the right side. Be out of play. Hits the top of the enclosed batting cage. Can't even tell what that is because it's got a cover on it. 0-2 the count now to Aaron Margraf. We have a shoestring situation here. You can hold the world as a captive by retying your shoe out there. Sierra Smith doing that. And here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. It swung on and hit foul out of play. Again, in their last series for Little Elm, when they played Frisco Independence, Margraf got some kudos for hitting the ball well in one of those games against Frisco Independence. And Lucas was big in the circle. Here's the 0-2 pitch that swung on and served out to right field. Base hit. Will land in front of Allie Fight. That's hit number 3 for Little Elm with 2 out. Here in the bottom of the 5th, and here's Tatum Mowry.
Now batting, the center fielder, number 3, Tatum Mowry.
She hit a fly ball out to center field. If she'd do that again, then Alyssa Abram would have the distinction of ending both ball games with a catch out in center field. That was a big out last night as Little Elm was beginning to threaten. Here's the pitch from Haggerty. This is outside, ball 1 to Mowry.
Little Elm's moving into Region 1. Yep.
Okay. My goodness.
They're in District 8.
1-0 pitch. Ball 2. Lady Cats district not changing a whole lot. They'll have Texas High, Mount Pleasant, Greenville. I think they pick up Lindale. Here's a 2-0 pitch, swung on and grounded to Womack at third. Fields throw to first, and that is the ball game. And the Lady Cats, and very as workmanlike as you can be in a 13-0 victory. And the Lady Cats move on to the 3rd round, which will be the area, will be the regional quarterfinal against Forney, one of the best teams in the state of Texas. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. So Bailey Haggerty, a 3-hitter.
District quarterfinals.
1, 2, 3. Get on strikeouts here. That's 4. Looked like 4 strikeouts for Bailey. Not a big strikeout game, but she made them hit the ball into outs, and that just.
And also, congratulations to the Lady Lobos from Little Elm for an exciting, outstanding season of girls softball. They finished
Little Elm will end their season 18-11. And again, 3rd place in that tough district of theirs, nothing to sneeze at. Right. Lady Cats, meanwhile, reach a record now of 28-5.
For the Lady Cats, a 3-hit shutout.
And Lady Cats
Alyssa Abron with 4 hits.
Celebrating in right field, and Little Elm trying to dry some tears, I'm sure, out there in left field. It's a tough thing for the season to come to an end. Eric, you've been on both sides of it after a playoff series, and I'd rather be with those Lady Cats. They're having more fun.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Happy weekend.
They felt like they were the better team coming in, and
good night, everybody.
They started out a little shaky yesterday or last night, and came out today and just took care of business like they were supposed to, and now they're celebrating.
Coach Grillo's approach, as I talked to him about the game last night, he told the girls, he said, "You've been here before. You have been behind before. So you can do it." And he said, just play good defense. Forget about what's happened before. They were down 5-1. Had shaky defense in the first several innings. And then just concentrate going up there and getting some hits. And the hits started falling. There were a lot of hits in those last 2 innings, and 6 runs came in to score to make it 7-5. So that was a big win last night, and this one was just something else. 3 runs in the first, 2 in the second. I don't know how they did not score in the third, but then they made up for it with 8 runs in the top of the fourth inning to put the cherry on top of a 13-0 win.
Right.
So, Eric, maybe your final thoughts on this one?
Well, I mean, just like I said, LadyCats took care of business, did a great job. Little Elm's a great team, and they're gonna be good in the future. And so, I'm sure we'll hear more about them next year. But it's on to the next round.
It's on to the next round, and I need to correct myself because that would be an embarrassing gaffe if the Colony was to come roaring back and win the last 2 games of that series after they were really just clobbered in the first game. But they're still alive. They're playing game 2 tonight, and so you can't pencil in Forney yet until they earn it.
Right.
And so they're trying to earn it, and it seemed like they're a team on a mission after getting beat by the Colony last year. So they are. And we've not had much success with them. Maybe just one playoff series, unless I'm forgetting something. I know we played them shortly after that in the Sulphur Springs tournament. We've scrimmaged them. Obviously, we scrimmaged them and the Colony in the first week.
Right.
But so we've quite familiar with Forney Lady Rabbits.
Correct.
All right. Let's go ahead and wrap it up here. James Terry back in the saddle after Matt Jansen was in there for a couple of ball games. We appreciate Matt, and we certainly appreciate James in there doing his usual great job. And Doug Hastings shooting video for a replay. If you want to see a one-sided game that looks good from the LadyCat perspective, you want to catch this one. It was 13-0. May well be on after the coaches show tomorrow. And Eric Buck with his color commentary, and he didn't even have to predict a comeback tonight as the LadyCats got off to that good start we were asking for. Thank you, Eric. And I'm Don Julian with your play-by-play. Once again, final score on this area series with the LadyCats of Sulphur Springs and also Little Elm Lady Lobos. LadyCats win here at McKinney North by the score of 13-0. And thank you so much for joining us, and so long, everybody.